Oh man, guys, I just got back from the doctors with a brand new disease. I'm scared of the largest Fnaf action figure collection ever fighting each other. And Golden Freddy, do you think there will be any Fnaf action figure fights here? You don't? Alright, wait, what do you mean, don't check behind my suspiciously placed chair? Well, I mean, I really hope there's nothing scary back here. Let's go ahead and take a look. Ah! In today's video, we are going to be comparing every single Five Nights at Freddy's Jazwares versus Funko action figure ever made. We have every single Jazwares figure versus every single Funko figure to see who really deserves the Five Nights at Freddy's license. Now, before we get into each individual figure and wave, let's look at the sets as a whole. First of all, Funko has 8 years of FNAF figures under their belt. They have been making these things forever, but they also have some cons, being they don't listen to fan feedback, and they make a lot of garbage characters like FNAF AR figures. Now, Jazwares is a brand new company with a lot less figures, but they listen to fan feedback, making the withered characters, but some of their figures aren't the highest quality, like the withereds being unpainted and dirty, and them already making FNAF AR characters and reskins already. So we're going to truly find out which is better, and let's start off by looking at Wave 1 of Funko versus Jazwares. So to figure out who really is better between Jazwares or Funko, let's start out by checking out the first ever waves of FNAF figures they made. Now, just by looking at it, it looks like there's a lot more Jazwares than Funko, because there's, a lot less Jazwares, because there's 4 Jazwares figures and 6 Funko figures, but there's actually a lot more. But we won't be looking at those yet, so let's first compare these. The first ever figures Jazwares release being the classic Freddy and the Funko Freddy. Now, there's a whole bunch of differences between these guys, and I think each side has its own good thing if we want to figure out who wins. First of all, taking a look at the Funko one, this is very nostalgic. These are the figures that everyone grew up with, and they do have a lot of positives. First of all the Funko figures come with accessories that looks really good. Second of all, the Funko figures are very well detailed. They have amazing texture along the figures, and they have a nice little dirty wash on them to make them look like the old used animatronics. But they also have some things that are wrong with them. First of all, the top teeth. Everyone knows the Funko top teeth aren't great. And second of all the limbs can come off. Now, at the time, it seemed like a really cute idea, but now, years later, the limbs fall off super easily. They break really easily. They just come apart very easily, which isn't great. Now, taking a look at the Jazwares Freddy. The Jazwares Freddy is a lot bigger than the classic Freddy. The Jazwares Freddy is also a lot more posable. His jaw can open and close. His head can fully turn. He can even swivel at the waist. The Funko Freddy cannot do that. But, of course, there's also issues with the Jazwares Freddy. First of all, Jazwares Freddy, the really good thing is he doesn't have top teeth. Finally, no more top teeth. But his colors are very inaccurate. Now, this Freddy doesn't have the most accurate colors, but I would say this brown Freddy color is a lot closer than this orange Freddy color. I don't know why they made him orange, why they made him so bright. It doesn't look very accurate. Second of all, he is not dirty in the slightest. The dirty texture on these guys looks amazing. He looks like just clean plastic with no dirt on him. He's way too smooth, he has no texture, and he has no dirty paint, which just doesn't look the best. So, out of both of these, it really depends what you want. Do you want a more posable figure that can move a lot more, he has a bunch more posability, and he's a lot bigger than the original figure, or do you want a figure that alright, well, there goes Freddy. Do you maybe want a figure that's better for display, but he's less accurate and has less posability, and he's a lot smaller? I don't know. And Jazwares Freddy also doesn't come with accessories, and his hands are really small, so that's not too good. So, taking a look at Bonnie, I think Bonnie looks a lot better, the Jazwares one at least. But first of all, let's look at the Funko one. The Funko Bonnie is a classic figure, of course, coming with his guitar, which is an amazing accessory. He does have the issue of top teeth. My Bonnie figure is a lot more worn down than my Freddy, I have no idea, but he really wiggles. The joints have become so loose on this guy, he wiggles around a lot, as you can tell. That's not good at all, honestly. This Bonnie, look at that. No wiggles at all. This Bonnie also looks a lot better than the Freddy because they carved his eye holes out a lot better. His eye holes are a lot more open and hollow. I think that looks a lot better than this Freddy. I'm not sure why his eye holes are so close to his eyes, but this makes this Bonnie look a lot better. Again, this Bonnie is a lot more posable with a closable jaw. What the heck? His head can't move? Oh, this is one of the early versions. The early Jazwares figures, their heads couldn't move on the endoskeletons. I'm not sure why. His colors are also blue, while this Bonnie is purple. What color Bonnies do you prefer, the blue one or the purple one? I don't know. So these ones, honestly, the Freddy's, it was honestly a tie. The Bonnies, I would have to give it to Jazwares Bonnie. The fact that the eyes look so much more accurate and his colors are a lot better than the bright orange Freddy, I really think the Jazwares Bonnie takes the win. But it's up to you guys. Maybe you guys like Funko Bonnie more. So after Bonnie is Chica, and I feel like this is a... Oh man, this one is a very close one. So first of all, looking at the Funko Chica, the issue she has, of course, is the top teeth. Her eyes are also completely the wrong color. They gave her orange eyes. That's not what Chica looks like at all. And most importantly, Chica... Okay, well, alright. Chica comes with Mr. Cupcake. Mr. Cupcake is the most iconic part about Chica. Everyone knows she has Mr. Cupcake. There's also some really bad things about her, is her shoulder pads don't fit with the rest of her body as well. They're really weird and scratchy. I have no idea why they did that. And, her head can't really move the best because it is a circle. So comparing this to the Jazwares Chica, the Jazwares Chica is very, very clean. Chica is one of the dirtiest animatronics because she spends so much time in the kitchen, so the Funko Chica really does that justice, and they really make her very dirty with a lot of texture. This Chica has none of that texture. She's very smooth and very clean, which isn't great, but this Chica has so much posability, and she's a lot more Chica shaped. Chica has a very round and circular body, which looks a lot better here. This Funko Chica, all the Funko torsos are the same. This is the same slim shape they gave Freddy and Bonnie, which just isn't very accurate. But this Chica has no cupcake, unfortunately. I don't know why the cupcake is so iconic, but they gave her no cupcake. This Chica is more accurate, as her beak can fully open up. She has no upper teeth, and her eyes are the correct colors, being purple. Her eyes and eyebrows also look a lot better. This Chica's eyebrows are huge, and her eyes look really weird. This Chica's eyebrows and eyes look very, very good. I really, really like that, but she has no dirt and no texture. So, checking out the last classic character, alright, whatever Chica, you can stay falling over, is Foxy. Now, both of these Foxies, I would say, are very, very similar. First of all, Funko Foxy has no accessories. Well, because Foxy doesn't really have any accessories. So, Foxy is the only character with upper teeth, so that's one of the only things they got right about him is his upper teeth. And he's very dirty. He has some very great texture that looks really, really good. But a couple issues I have is his hook is very, very small. He has an itty-bitty little hook. And all the other characters' hands can move, but his hook can't move at all, which is very disappointing. Now, the Jazwares Foxy, he is a lot brighter red, a lot more incorrect color, as well as all his withering has just been painted brown. That looks really, really bad. Either carve out the withering or paint it like a black, because there's a whole bunch of details here which look great, but they just didn't give them any attention, which kind of sucks. This Foxy, of course, has a openable mouth and a lot more posability compared to the other Foxy, and his hook is giant and can move and turn and move it however you want. So I would definitely have to say the Jazwares Foxy wins. So out of the first ones we looked at, I think Jazwares Foxy and Bonnie are the best of the wave, and the Jazwares Chica and Freddy could tie, honestly, for Funkos. But that's not all the figures. Funko has a couple tricks up their sleeve. Golden Freddy. How do you not make Golden Freddy? Jazwares did not make Golden Freddy for some reason. I have no idea why they wouldn't make Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy is such a iconic character. I mean, he's one of the 5 original characters. I freaking love Golden Freddy. Look at him. Golden Freddy is the coolest character ever. So, Jazwares has not made a Golden Freddy figure, which I think is absurd, frankly. I don't understand why they haven't made Golden Freddy. So, by default, the Funko one wins. The Funko one wins. They could have easily made Golden Freddy and Withered Golden Freddy in this line. I don't know why they haven't yet, and honestly, it makes me really angry. So that's another point for Funko. Another point for Funko is you get a free action figure. When you buy all 5 Funko figures, you get a free buildable Springtrap figure, which is incredible. It incentivizes you to collect all the figures, and not only that, Springtrap is the best looking character. Springtrap is an iconic character. He's an amazing character. Look at all this detail. This is the best Funko figure ever made. He's genuinely incredible. The free Springtrap figure you get from buying the complete set is amazing. Jazwares does not have any of that, but Jazwares does have something else. Of course, I'm talking about the Withered figures. Now, fans have been begging for the Withereds for years, almost a decade, and Funko never made them. So that is 4 more points to Jazwares because they made every single Withered. Well, besides Withered Golden Freddy. But yeah, Funko never made the Withereds, they only made the classics. So Jazwares gets a whole bunch of bonus points because the gimmick that Funko had is when you bought all of their figures, you were able to build Springtrap. But the gimmick that Jazwares has is in every pack you buy, you get two characters. You have the classic characters and the withered characters. And the classic characters definitely are good, but the withereds take the cake. Withered Freddy is absolutely incredible. He looks so good. Oh man, he is such an amazing character. Withered Bonnie looks pretty good. Obviously, the top jaw doesn't look as accurate as I would like it to. You guys know I'm a big Withered Bonnie fan. Withered Bonnie sits there all the time. So, Withered Bonnie isn't the most accurate. Withered Chica looks amazing with her hollow, sunken eyes. Withered Chica is one of my favorite withereds that they made. She looks so good. And Withered Foxy is easily the worst one because instead of giving him the actual details, they painted it all red and it looks really, really awful. So, I don't know why they did that. But there's one more competition we have to put Funko and Jazwares up against. And that is the exclusive figures. Now, there was one exclusive released in each wave 1 for these figures, so let's take a look at them. First of all, Glow in the Dark Foxy. The rarest, most expensive Funko figure ever made. Worth over $1,000. And he sucks! Just because he's worth $1,000 doesn't mean he's good. Prototypes are worth $1,000 and they're way more worth it. But this is just Orange Foxy. This thing genuinely sucks. Instead of adding a really cool exclusive figure, maybe like Endo Skeleton, since they're doing a FNAF 1 wave, or, I don't know, if they're doing recolors, make Fredbear, just recolor Golden Freddy into Fredbear. No, this sucks. They took the Foxy figure, which was a pretty good figure, and they ruined him. They made him all orange, they didn't make his tummy or his snout a different color in the slightest, and now he has the gimmick of glowing in the dark. Oh, they glow in the dark. That's lame. All the Jazwares figures glow in the dark. Every single one of them, their eyes glows in the dark. They're built in with that gimmick. This guy's $1,000, and he's just an orange sunburnt version of Foxy. That sucks. Funko loses a point because that makes me angry. But the Jazwares exclusive of Shadow Freddy, oh my gosh, he is amazing. They did a recolor. Both of these figures are recolors. The Glow in the Dark Foxy is just a recolor of normal Foxy. Shadow Freddy is just a recolor of Withered Freddy. But this is how you do a recolor. You do it right. They made a brand new character of Shadow Freddy. He's a popular character, but he's not super iconic like the rest of the Withereds, so they made him a exclusive, which is amazing. He's literally just Freddy, but he even has the black eyes. You can take these black eyes out and put them on any of the other characters. This is how you make an exclusive figure. Now, both figures were exclusive to different locations. The Foxy was actually easier to get. He was exclusive to Hot Topic, so you could buy him online or find him in stores, so he was easier to find at the time. But Shadow Freddy is only exclusive to online, which I'm not a fan of. I wish fans had a way of finding this guy in stores as well as online. I feel like that would make it a lot more accessible for all the fans, but overall, Shadow Freddy takes the cake. So, overall, each have their benefits. Funkos are dirtier, with more detail. They made Golden Freddy, they give them accessories, and they give you a free figure of Springtrap. But Jazwares figures are bigger, more posable, they've made more figures, the exclusive is better, and they made the Withereds that Funko never would. I'm going to have to give the crown to Jazwares for winning round 1. Now, we are going to have more rounds to see who wins, so let's go check out round 2. Well, some of you might not say that was a fair battle between Funko and Jazwares, so we are putting the other FNAF 1 figures that Jazwares has made. That's right, Jazwares made 2 different sets of FNAF 1 figures, and you guys might be saying it's not fair to compare the Endo series figures because these are $25 figures. Well, the Funko ones are only $10, and well, Jazwares made their own $10 figures as well, and we're gonna see which ones really win. So comparing both Freddy Fazbear's here, you can see they are exactly the same height. With this Freddy, actually, his head is a lot smaller, like very, very small. And while this Freddy can move a lot, this Freddy's gimmick is he can jump scare with, which is pretty neat. And can I be honest, these jump scare figures, well, they really aren't the best compared to Funko. Funkos have a lot more detail. Of course, they have the black wash and the texture. This Freddy, he's the weird orange, but he has even less posability than the Funko figure. His head can't turn at all. His torso can't even turn at all like the other ones. Every time you want to move his arms, it moves both of them, and it ends up feeling really weird, like you're almost going to break the figures. And yeah, he has a jump scare feature, but it's a little bit gimmicky, you know? This Freddy is also the only figure to come with an accessory, which feels very strange out of all of them. I feel like Chica should have had the accessory. And yeah, honestly, I mean, just the Funko Freddy is better. Not only does he come with free parts for Springtrap, but his details and color and his posability, like, you can move his head. You know, you can move his head. That's pretty big. Same goes for Bonnie. His colors are a lot better, but he's even bluer than then the $25 figure Bonnie, you can see this guy, I think he's too blue. He's way too blue. He's way too bright blue. His teeth also look very strange. They're on the outside of his mouth instead of being inside like the Freddy figure, which just, well, it doesn't look that great. His ears also stick straight up instead of posing them in some position like this Bonnie. And yes, this Bonnie does have upper teeth, and he's a little janky, but at least his head can turn. At least it can move. This Bonnie, well, he can't really turn his head, and he comes with no accessory. He only this Bonnie comes with his guitar accessory, so that's another win for Funko, so that's 2 points for Funko. Next up is Chica's, and the Funko Chica, of course, has her cupcake. This Chica has no cupcake, and something really weird about this Chica is they gave her the paw pads, like they were going to put a cupcake here because you're going to see the paw pads, but the other Freddy and Bonnie figures don't have any paw pads, and their hands are extremely tiny. Why would they do that? I don't know. This Chica doesn't look as good. Again, her head can't even turn like this Chica. She has no cupcake, even though it looks like she's basically supposed to hold one, and she's way too clean and shiny, unlike this Chica. So again, that's another win for Funko. And one of the worst examples is probably Foxy. The metallic paint on Jazwares Foxy does look cool, but that neck, oh my goodness, the face sculpt is more accurate on this Foxy compared to this one, but that giant neck just, ugh, doesn't look good. They also made his feet and legs way too fat, like he has cankles. This Foxy's legs are actually accurate. And this Foxy, his jump scare even gets stuck. So the jump scare feature doesn't even work. But easily the worst figure of this wave is Golden Freddy. So I said they didn't make a Golden Freddy figure, which is true. They didn't make a Golden Freddy Endo figure. They didn't make a Golden Freddy jump scare. And this thing is garbage. I already showed you my Golden Freddy cosplay because I love Golden Freddy. This guy sucks. He's a bright radioactive yellow. He's brighter than Chica. How does that make sense? The inside of his ears are a dark brown. I thought Jazwares went for accuracy. And he's just a yellow version of Freddy. Didn't bother making him dirty at all, even though Golden Freddy is the dirtiest animatronic. So the Funko figure wins. I don't care if he has tough teeth, and I don't care if they just recolored his eyes and gave him eyelids. This Golden Freddy sucks. But, so the Funko figures do obviously win in figure-wise, but Jazwares has something up their sleeve. Jazwares figures, instead of coming with a free figure, come with a free playset. And everything I said about Jazwares, I take it all back. These figures are so much worth it. You push the door button to actually open up the door, and then you can actually close it back down. This thing is amazing. And you can even use this for your Funko figures. Say you like them better. The playsets on with the Jazwares figures are just genuinely incredible. The details in here look amazing. This is way better than that Funko Snap FNAF Office playset. That one sucked. You can actually see through the windows. You can put the Freddy figure here in the window. You can see him. It looks so cool. Both of the doors can fully open, and when you open them, they actually stay locked, and then all you have to do is push the buttons, and they shut. Oh my gosh, and it has a loud snapping noise. You can even take the set apart if you want to store it, because it comes in 3 different parts. So, it depends what you want. If you want an amazing playset, I say go with the Jazwares figures, but if you want better quality figures, I say go with the Funko ones. And now it's time we check out the Wave 2 of the toy animatronics versus Funko and Jazwares. So now we're checking out the Jazwares versus Funko Fnaf AR figures. And this isn't the entire line. Of course, we're going to take a look at the rest of them. But these are the only ones that really have matchups, because Jazwares has made more AR merch, and they've also made more toy merch. So we're going to compare those. But taking a look at these figures, the VR Toy Freddy Jazwares versus the VR Toy Freddy Funko. At first, it might look like it's a clear-cut winner. Obviously, Jazwares is better. He's bigger and he's more posable, but you have to wait, because there's definitely a couple different details that don't look as good. First of all, his visor. The Jazwares one is just completely incorrect. His visor is way too skinny and tiny. Doesn't look very good. And it's not even in the middle of his head. This VR headset, it's actually in the middle of his head. This guy also has no details. He's just a flat body. They didn't bother giving him any new molds. While this Toy Freddy actually has all of those little circuitry lines you can see on him, which does make him better in that aspect. Of course, the Jazwares one does have a lot better posability. You can even pull off the visor, which I think is a really neat touch, honestly. His arms can move a lot better. They actually carved out the sides for his arms to fit into, which is really nice. Unlike the Funko one, his arms just they tried to do that, but it didn't work the best, and his arms sit out a lot. His feet also can't move, and can his hands move? His hands can move, but this one, oh, alright, well, there he goes. This one's hands look a lot better, and his feet can move. He has a lot better posability overall. He can fully spin, unlike the other one, which is really cool. So, honestly, for these, it really depends what you want more. Do you want a figure that's better for playing, and he's a lot larger? I would get the Jazwares one. Or do you want one that's more accurate with more attention to details? Then I would get the Funko one. But that's not the same case for the next character of System Error Toy Bonnie, because these ones both definitely have their pros and their cons. First of all, the Jazwares one has a lot better colors. He's actually red, unlike this one, he's a weird, like, pinkish salmon color, which just doesn't really fit his character, but this one has better posing and a better face shape. I think this Toy Bonnie face shape is absolutely incredible. It makes me really wish they made the toy figures. His face shape looks amazing, and his ears are actually bent. This one, his face shape isn't as accurate. He has upper teeth, which is something that Jazwares, for once, like, whoa, you're giving him upper teeth? I thought that was your whole thing, is you didn't give the characters upper teeth. But they gave Systematic Toy Bonnie upper teeth for some reason, and his face shape just overall is a lot less accurate. I don't know how to put it. His head is maybe too big or too wide. This Toy Bonnie's head is a lot better, but the texture on this guy is a lot better. Funko's kind of skimped on the texture and made it really thick, when his texture is actually really, really skinny lines in the game, and this texture looks amazing. I don't know why they couldn't give texture to Toy Freddy if they gave all this texture to Toy Bonnie. So overall, I would have to say the Jazwares one is better. He's a better color, his texture looks a lot better, and of course he's a lot more posable, which is really nice. With this Toy Bonnie, his face does look better and his ears are posed better, but overall his colors aren't accurate and the lines just look kind of tacky on him. So that's 2 wins for Jazwares and 0 wins for Funko, but I think Funko might take the cake on this one, being high score Toy Chica. The Toy Chica figure is easily the worst figure Funko has made. Her face on the high score Toy Chica and on the normal Toy Chica is disgusting looking. Her eyes, look at that. Do you see that? Her eyelids are up on, like, the very top of her head. That looks absolutely awful. I have no idea why they did it. It looks really bad. Her face shape is honestly just horrible. Her beak looks awful and fat. Her eyes genuinely look disgusting. Everything about her doesn't look accurate. Her head is way too squared off. It's not really round. The rest of her does have some cool detail. I like how they made these parts less translucent with the pixels on them, and the high score does look good. Her colors are overall more accurate, being the darker blue, but the Funko one, her face shape is so much better and so much more accurate. I mean, just look at these. Like, this one looks ugly. Oh my gosh. And this one actually, like, physically molded all these squares on her, which I do appreciate that attention to detail. It does look a lot better. She is less posable, but the colors on her, I personally like this lighter blue better, even if it isn't the most accurate. She also came with the 8-bit cupcake figure, if I can find it. She came with the 8-bit cupcake figure, which is, here it is, which is one of my favorite props, honestly. That is such a cute little figure. I love that so much. So, I gotta say the Funko one wins. Her face is not as ugly as this, and she came with 8-bit cupcake. So, we compared these, but now let's compare the actual toy figures to the Funko ones. So now we're putting up Jazwares Wave 2 toy figures versus Funko toy figures, because these are the closest toys Funko ever made, because they never listen to what fans say and what fans want, and they never made the toy figures. They made just a whole bunch of Fnaf AR figures and tie-dyes and Balloon Circus and garbage. So I think they deserve to lose the license. But let's check both of these out. Now, first of all, the Jazwares Toy Freddy is literally massive. He is so big, and he already has a lot of benefits compared to this Toy Freddy. First of all, this Toy Freddy can open his mouth, unlike this one. He has holes cut out in the side of his chest, so his arms can fit in there a lot better. And this is the only Toy Freddy figure we have, which makes him very accurate. He looks really good. His face shape looks really good. His belly is the correct size. It's yeah, his ears are the correct little shapes. His hat actually has the stripe on it. He looks so good. His hands are giant. He has the accurate feet. He looks amazing. Now, compared to this VR Toy Freddy, his face does have some really good molding. I like the cheeks. The cheeks are the correct size. They're actually a lot smaller on this. His face does have really good shape. We can't see his eyes, obviously, because that's covered. But everything else about this figure is just, well, it's a lot worse. Of course, his head can rotate, but his torso can't rotate. His jaw can't open. His feet can't even move. He just overall has a lot less posability, and the joints on him are black, which isn't super accurate to Toy Freddy. This Toy Freddy obviously has an endoskeleton underneath them, so we get to see the rusty metallic joints on this Toy Freddy, which I think is really good. It looks so good on this Toy Freddy. It's very accurate. His eyes look really great. His whole face is amazing. So obviously, this Toy Freddy is way better than Funko's Toy Freddy, because Funko never even made Toy Freddy when they should have, and this is the only Toy Freddy they made, so that's the closest one we got. Now moving on to Toy Bonnie, well, it's not as simple as that Toy Freddy. First of all, Jazwares Toy Bonnie definitely has a couple issues that I don't like. First of all, his eyelashes aren't even there. They just forgot to add them on. Second of all, he has extra teeth. One of Jazwares' whole thing was like, oh, look, we're not giving the Fnaf 1 animatronics teeth. And yeah, they didn't, but now they gave the Fnaf 2 animatronics extra teeth. Toy Bonnie never had these side teeth. I don't know why they added them. They look really off, and they aren't even painted correctly. It looks really weird. This Toy Bonnie only has his buck teeth like he should, and this Toy Bonnie's ears are actually posed. This Toy Bonnie, for being a $25 figure, his ears aren't posed very well. Another thing I don't like about this Jazwares Toy Bonnie is he's very wide. Because he has to fit onto a endoskeleton, it makes his arms, his torso, and especially his pelvis look very wide. It just doesn't look very good. The pelvis is giant. Toy Bonnie's pelvis is very small and very skinny, which is how accurate Toy Bonnie looks. And this Toy Bonnie doesn't really have that at all, which just doesn't look very good. And like I said, this Toy Bonnie's face shape does look very accurate, and I really like that. So overall, it's really what you prefer. I think this Toy Bonnie definitely does look better, obviously, because Funko never even made Toy Bonnie. But this System Era Toy Bonnie, he's pretty close for Toy Bonnie, especially if you want to make your own and you want to paint this one. But Toy Chica is definitely where things change, and well, it gets a lot worse. The Jazwares Toy Chica, if I have to be honest, is probably the worst figure they ever made. Her face is so ugly. Her face is very flat, very square shaped, and her eyes are completely incorrect. This isn't a wrong Toy Chica figure. This is how they all look. Her I'm sorry, this Toy Chica is so ugly, she made me want to throw up because, ew, I hate her. I'm sorry, this Toy Chica is so ugly. Her eyes are permanently looking up. She looks like sleepy all the time. Her head is a weird square shape. Her mouth looks horrible open. That is way too big. And for being an Endo figure, you know, the things you're supposed to customize and remove, her beak isn't even removable. Like, what? She's the one character with a real removable part, and it doesn't look good. Her hands aren't even the same color as the rest of her body, which is just really lazy. And she has printing on her pelvis. They can just see right there. She's also very wide. Toy Chica's a very skinny and small animatronic, but because she has to fit over the endoskeleton, well, this one isn't. So this high score Toy Chica, even though it's not even officially Toy Chica, this one's better. It comes with a cupcake. She doesn't even come with a cupcake. Chica's iconic cupcake doesn't even have it. Her face is a lot more accurate, being rounder, a lot more accurate shape, a better looking beak. The beak actually has nostrils on it. Her head looks better. She doesn't have printing on her pelvis, and yeah, she is less posable, but this Toy Chica figure is just horrible. But now the thing that Jazwares did amazing, that Funko did awful, is Mangle, or Toy Foxy as she's called. Jazwares Mangle is perfect. This is probably the best figure they've ever made. If you guys ever see this, I highly recommend you buying it. This is a fully articulated, accurate Mangle figure that you can move any parts around. You can open the mouths, you can move the endoskeleton, you can make them look anywhere, you can move the joints all however you want. She is fully posable, everything. It is absolutely incredible. She's fully articulated. Not one detail of her is incorrect. Everything looks as it should be. She is genuinely the best figure they've ever made. I love her so much, and you get a Shadow Mangle in the pack as well. This Toy Foxy is a hunk of garbage. Her face isn't accurate to Mangle's in the slightest. They clearly just recolored Foxy's head. Her like side tufts don't even have a giant split in them like this one does. Her eyes look awful. The most disgusting part is her eyelashes. They made her eyelashes giant, ugly, and bushy, and instead of putting them in the endoskeleton like this one is, they just slapped it on the front of her face. Her I'm sorry, it's so ugly. I really hate this figure. I really, really hate it. Her snout, way too large. Look at that. Her jaw is bad. The teeth are just recolored from Foxy's teeth. The cheeks are inaccurate colors, and the rest of her looks horrible. We don't know what she looks like, but we know she doesn't have these feet. She has these kind of feet, which they clearly can do because they gave those feet to the rest of the toy animatronics, so I give her weird rounded feet. She's also so poorly made that the plastic is literally cracking. You can see the joints on mine are cracking, and soon she'll crumble and fall apart, and I'll have to buy a new one. The only good part is the tail. I think the tail's really cute, and the hook is nice, but that's it. This figure sucks, so it's really up to you. Jazwares has 3 figures that are better. They have Mangle, Toy Freddy, and Toy Bonnie, but Funko does have one figure that's better, and that is Toy Chica. So it's really up to you. 1 Funko figure is better, and 3 Jazwares figures better. So I would have to say, overall, the Jazwares figures definitely do look better, but yeah, some of them are absolutely horrible, and I would not recommend buying them. But these aren't the only toy figures Jazwares released. They also released $10 figures, which seems more fair to compare the Funko ones to, so we're going to check those out. This might seem a little more fair. Jazwares $10 figures versus Funko's $10 figures. Now, these aren't as big and deluxe as the other ones, so let's compare them. First of all, these are the Jazwares jump scare figures, which only cost $10 compared to the $25 Endo series figures. So looking at these, they are practically the exact same size. The heads look about the same, the heights are about the same, even the belly sizes are about the same. So this Toy Freddy's hands are a lot bigger. This is one of the things about this Toy Freddy. His hands are really big for some reason. He looks very similar to the other Toy Freddy, except this one, his eyes are a lot flatter, obviously, because he has to have the jump scare feature, and they both have their benefits. One of the ones that has this benefit is obviously his head can turn and rotate and look all around. This guy, because of the jump scare feature, his head unfortunately cannot turn, so that's a lot less posability. But of course he can jump scare. Well, this guy can't jump scare. He also comes with his microphone. I don't know where I put mine, it's kind of lost. Well, this guy had this guy has no accessories, which is very strange for, I mean, all the Funko figures always come with accessories, so it's kind of weird they don't have accessories. This guy does have better posability in other places, though, as his joints can drop down all the way. You can see he can, like, stand up on his tippy toes. Look at him. He's standing super, super high up on his tippy toes, so he definitely has really good posability there. Well, this guy, he can pose there a little bit. It's not the best, so obviously I think this Toy Freddy wins because this is actually Toy Freddy while this is VR Toy Freddy. Now the next one, looking at Toy Bonnie, these ones are definitely a lot closer. This Toy Bonnie is a lot skinnier. I'd say his body shape is a lot more accurate, but his head is also a lot smaller. This Toy Bonnie's head is a lot bigger. His face shape, I would say, is more accurate. His eyes are actually sunken in 3D, where this guy's eyes are basically flat on his head, and his ears are actually posed, unlike this Toy Bonnie whose ears aren't posed. This guy also can't turn his head, while this guy can turn his head, and this guy can also jump scare, which is, well, I mean, that's a pretty good detail. He does jump scare, and all of their eyes actually glow in the dark. I forgot to mention that. These are both really similar, but I would say this Toy Bonnie's better because his body type is more accurate. He is more posable. He does have the drop down joints, even if they don't show that much, and his face is actually Toy Bonnie. Now let's look at Toy Chica. Toy Chica was Jazwares' worst figure, but now checking out this Toy Chica, I think this one looks honestly better than this one. Her face, her beak is pretty long on this Toy Chica. I think it would look a lot better if it was shorter. This Toy Chica's head is perfect. Her body type is also perfect. It's way skinnier and way smaller, just like the actual Toy Chica, unlike that, disgusting Endo series figure. Her head can't turn, but she does jump scare really nicely too. I really like that. This Toy Chica, she looks a lot bigger and a lot chunkier, so honestly, Jazwares wins this one again for the $10 figure, and the final Jazwares figure we're looking at obviously wins. I hate this one so much. This is literally just a smaller version of Mangle. She doesn't actually come with a back foot. She only comes with 2 feet. I bought a second Mangle to put this back foot on, and her jaw can't stay open. Unfortunately, it does snap closed, but I mean, look at these. There's really no competition. So now let's compare Jazwares' second wave of figures to Funko's second wave of figures. Now we're taking a look at Jazwares' Wave 2 of Fnaf figures versus Funko's Wave 2 of Fnaf figures. And I know they may seem very different, but they actually share a lot of similarities. So let's go over them entirely first. Basically, it was like the FNAF 2 characters versus the FNAF 4 characters, and they both have their differences. For one, neither company has made either figures. Jazwares has not made any FNAF 4 characters, and they haven't even shown it, and Funko has never made the withered characters, which is probably a bigger issue, because the withered characters came from the second game, so to make your second wave, it makes more sense to make the second wave FNAF 2 than make your second wave FNAF 4. They even have weird exclusives and outlier characters, so we will take a look at all of them. So first, let's take a look at the Withered Freddy Jump Scare Wave 2 figure versus the Nightmare Freddy Wave 2 figure. And these characters are pretty similar in their details, and that Jazwares actually listened to the fan community. Now, because these are jump scare figures, they can't actually have holes in them because they're not the Endo figures where they have holes, but they listened and they made them a lot dirtier. Now, they don't have that texture we all hoped, but as you can see, they added a lot of really nice dirty black paint on these, which is great. Now, it's not as good as Funko's because Funko's gets everywhere, all in those nice little cracks. You can see that, well, on the front of Withered Freddy, it looks like they just completely missed his face. They only got his muzzle and his ears and his belly for some reason, but they did get his legs and his back, so they definitely are at least trying. Both these figures are very accurate and actually have no issues like the Wave 1 Funko figures. These figures are supposed to have top teeth, which makes them very accurate. Both of them definitely have their strengths and flaws. Now, first of all, this figure can jump scare, which is really cool, but his head can't rotate, and his pelvis can't rotate. While the Nightmare Freddy doesn't have the jump scare feature, his head can fully rotate, and not only that, his pelvis can also rotate, which is very surprising because the FNAF 1 characters didn't actually have this feature. So, can he rotate all the way around? Yeah, it's a little tricky, but yes, he can rotate all the way around. So they both have their accuracies, but another thing that Funko does very good is Nightmare Freddy actually comes with a little accessory. He comes with the little baby Freddle, who is so cute. So, oh man, this is really hard because Funko knows we've wanted the Withered figures. We've wanted these for years. That's why Jazwares went so hard for this, because Jazwares actually listens to community feedback, which means a lot. Not only did they listen about making the Withered figures, they actually listened about making them dirty. Funko never listens to the community feedback, but sometimes they don't have to. These figures are very good on their own. So honestly, I would say this round between Withered Freddy and Nightmare Freddy is a tie. Both of these figures have very little issues. One of them was wanted more by the community, but one of them was is just honestly made better. So I would say these figures are at a draw for now. But now checking out Withered Bonnie versus Nightmare Bonnie. Let's see the differences between both of these characters. Now, of course, they're both really similar, both being blue versions of Bonnie. The Nightmare Bonnie and the Withered Bonnie are both definitively blue, unlike FNAF 1 Bonnie, and they both definitely have their weaknesses and flaws. First of all, Nightmare Bonnie's eyes are completely incorrect. He actually has silver eyes, so the fact that they made them white, well, it doesn't look very good, especially compared to Nightmare Freddy. All the other Nightmares have black eyes, and they gave him bright white eyes. They would have looked a lot better if they were silver, because they already used silver paint on his character, so I don't see why they couldn't have done that, which is disappointing. Just like that, Withered Bonnie is painted and detailed and actually withered, which is very nice, but he also has an issue, being the issue that they gave him his upper jaw. That makes no sense. It makes sense they gave the, this guy, look, it makes sense they gave the Endo figure a upper jaw, because he's an Endo figure and the upper jaw is built into the endoskeleton. But this endoskeleton isn't built in. Why did they not just remove the upper jaw? That genuinely makes no sense, and frankly, it's quite annoying that Jazwares did that, because the upper jaw on Withered Bonnie was one of the biggest issues, honestly. Now, Nightmare Bonnie didn't come with an accessory, so I would say, again, these figures are equally matched. They both have one really big flaw, but the rest of them are amazing figures. Again, one of them is a great character that doesn't have any other figures, and one of them is a character we've wanted for years that they finally listened to community feedback on. Now, the only character I don't actually have is Jumpscare Withered Chica. I cannot find her for the life of me, but she's so similar to the Endo series Chica that I'm just going to compare them. Now, first of all, Withered Chica does have her cupcake built in, but, I mean, Nightmare Chica, I'm so sorry. Nightmare Chica does have her cupcake built in, but Withered Chica doesn't actually hold a cupcake, so I'd say those are pretty equal, because she didn't come with any accessories. Her accessory is built into her. And, of course, the Jumpscare Chica has the same limited posability where her head can't turn and her torso can't turn, while this one, her head can turn all the way around and her torso can turn. Just like on the figure, they did actually listen, and they dirtied them up a lot better. Even this Endo series figure, they listened very fast and made them very dirty. So these figures, I would say it's what you prefer if you want to have a full set of the Nightmares. Now, the Nightmare Chica does actually have an issue making her eye blue. Her eye was never blue, it was gray. So they either make gray white, like Nightmare Bonnie's eyes, or they make gray blue. Why can't you just make gray gray? Like you've used that on other parts of the figure. She has other gray joints. Why not just make her eye gray? So both of these, I would say, are equally matched because they both come with extra accessories, which we will talk about. Now, checking out Nightmare Foxy versus Withered Foxy. I think this is one of the only ones where Funko wins. First of all, the withering paint on Nightmare Foxy isn't super great. You can see for some reason they just stopped at the top of the snout. That looks very strange. He's also very, very chunky. He has that big fat neck, which doesn't look good because of his jump scare feature. And while this Foxy actually did carve out the torso and give him chunks, even though there are black chunks, they actually carved out the middle. This guy has no chunks carved out of him. They made it all silver instead of making it see-through, which is honestly very disappointing. They also made his legs way too wide and his feet way too small. So even though this Withered Foxy is a character we've wanted for a while, and he does look pretty good, I gotta say, Funko takes the cake with them with this one. But not only that, we also got two characters that nobody asked for, two completely random characters that basically don't make sense. We got the Toy Foxy figure. I've already talked about this. You guys know how I feel about Toy Foxy. But the random characters we also got are Balloon Boy and Crying Child. These figures are so weird. First of all, they have no jump scare gimmick. Like all the other figures in this line, they have some type of gimmick where they jump scare. Even the Puppet's gimmick is she jump scares out of the box. You know, these guys don't do anything. What do they even do? Balloon Boy is posable, which is nice. He's posable for being such a small figure. This is the most accurate Balloon Boy figure, but it's also like, why? You know, why? What's the point of these figures? I mean, yeah, they're posable and they're cool. Crying Child, I guess, is posable. You can swivel his torso. I mean, that's about all Crying Child does. It's really easy to remove his head, too. Yeah, so you can do that. But it's like, what's the point of these? I mean, Balloon Boy looks cool, and I guess he goes with the characters. You can put him in the FNAF office. Crying Child makes zero sense. This isn't even the accurate Crying Child. This is the FNAF World one that shows up for like 2 frames. Why? What? Genuinely, what is the point of these? That's the exact same way I feel about this Toy Foxy. But unlike Toy Foxy, where I say, why was Toy Foxy made? These figures are at least accurate. They at least look good. This looks like garbage, so Jazwares definitely takes the win on this one. As well as they also have 2 puppets in this wave, which I think is very interesting. And the puppet is definitely a weird character. Now, Nightmarion, he's the Build-A-Figure. I did have his arm at one point. I lost it. I have no idea where it went. If you're a real Pogo fan, you know I lost the arm. I got no clue where it went. But we got 2 puppets in this wave, and they were both made very differently. Puppet can't stand. She is such a skinny, tiny character with very thin little legs that they went both in 2 ways. Funko went for the 100% accurate version of Nightmarion, giving him no stand and nothing to hold him up at all, so he falls right over. But Jazwares went the other route of giving Puppet no legs, making her not accurate, but instead putting her inside of her box. So she actually has a really neat gimmick where when you turn this, boom! Puppet comes jumping out of there. So they both have their pros and cons. This Puppet is a lot more cool. She's definitely a lot more displayable. You can put her anywhere. She has an amazing jump scare feature, the best jump scare feature out of any of the characters, but she's not super accurate, having literally no lower half. This Nightmarion is way more accurate, having every single part of him fully modeled, but he can't stand up on his own, so it's completely up to you. They also have their own Build-A-Figure sets. So this wave did come with a Nightmarion. Every single figure you bought came with 1 piece of Nightmarion, so you could build up Nightmarion, so you get a free figure, but with the Jazwares things, you get a free playset, which I think is amazing. So you build the FNAF 2 office. Obviously, I don't have Withered Chica. She comes with the other side, but yeah, you get the FNAF 2 office. This one isn't as cool as the FNAF 1 office because it has no play features. The FNAF 1 office, you could close the doors. I wish this one made the lights movable. You just put a little LED in there. You can turn the lights on, maybe a light in the hallway. That would have made these, a lot better, but it's really up to you. Would you rather a free playset that comes with the figures, but the figures are more expensive? For example, Wither Bonnie comes with the front hallway. He's not $10, he's $25 because the playset's so big. Or would you rather a free figure that doesn't increase the price at all? So it's really up to you which ones you prefer. I think both of these figures look amazing. I can't say one is better than the other simply because they're different characters. The Nightmares look amazing and the Withereds look amazing, so it's really up to you which one looks better. And now we have to look at the exclusives and one-off characters that both companies made. Now we're taking a look at strange one-off characters and exclusives and how they compare to Funko and Jazwares figures. Now the only characters that have a similarity here are Rockstar Freddy, that's it. The other 3 figures, neither company has made the same of, so we're going to take a look at the Rockstar Freddys. And while comparing both of these, they're honestly very similar. It depends what you prefer. Personally, I prefer the Jazwares one, simply because Rockstar Freddy is a very clean and very smooth-looking animatronic, which I believe they captured perfectly. All of his weirdly shaped joints look really good, like his kneecaps, his feet, all of that. This Freddy, they gave that texture detail, which normally looks amazing, but this time it isn't great. All of his joints are actually the correct brown color. Rockstar Freddy doesn't have these black colored joints, so he looks a lot better here, and all of his materials are really shiny. The star there isn't shiny at all. This star actually is shiny as well as his top hat, and they even gave him an accessory, just like this Rockstar Freddy. So overall, I would say the Jazwares Rockstar Freddy is better simply because his head shape looks better. This guy just has a giant black chunk in his mouth, which doesn't look very good. The texture looks better, and the jump scare feature works surprisingly well in this time. So, sometimes it can get a little sticky, but it looks amazing on the Jazwares Freddy. Now the next one we're going to be checking out is the only other Rockstar character either company made. The only Rockstar character Funko made was Rockstar Foxy. The only Rockstar character Jazwares made was Rockstar Chica. And in comparing both of these, I would say honestly these figures are equal. Rockstar Chica has both of her iconic maracas, and her mouth opens all the way, which looks really good. But Rockstar Foxy even has Pickles the Parrot, who sits on his shoulder, which looks really good. And his star is actually shiny. For some reason, they only painted his star shiny, not Rockstar Freddy's. He also comes with his accordion, and he even has his peg leg. Both of these characters honestly look amazing. I really like both of them, and I can't choose a winner. I think when putting these characters together, they look really, really good. Obviously, Rockstar Foxy is slightly worse because, again, he does have that texture. He would look a lot better if he was 100% smooth like Rockstar Chica, but that's a very, very small complaint, and I really do like this Rockstar Foxy figure. I think it's really awesome. Now, let's get into weird Fnaf AR skin variations. First of all, let's take a look at Ringmaster Foxy versus Captain Pirate Foxy. Now, both of you're crowding me, Rockstar figures. Let's scoot them back a little. Both of these characters are literally just versions of Foxy with clothes on, so that's why I chose them. Even though he's not a Fnaf AR character, I'd say he's the closest one. So they're literally just Foxy with a hat and a vest on. That is what both of these characters are. They're very similar if you realize it. So first of all, their legs are practically identical. I like his legs more because his legs are actually dirtied and they look really good, but I like his legs more because they're thinner and more accurate to Foxy's legs, unlike these ones. Now, Pirate Captain Foxy has a, Pirate Captain Captain Foxy has a amazing coat on that's actually a little bit flexible, that moves. It looks really good, like these are actually connected to shoulder pads, but the arms don't look that good because of those Funko joints. It makes them look not great because Pirate Captain Foxy's shirt sleeves go all the way down to the very end. Otherwise, I'd say it looks really good. The details on his chest look amazing, but comparing that to Ringmaster Foxy's, I would say his are slightly better, simply because the arms continue all the way through. It does look like it's a full shirt, while still keeping that mobility. You can move his arms and pose them, which I think looks a lot better. And instead of the hook, he has this giant lasso on his arm, which is actually posable, which I really like. Unlike Pirate Captain Foxy's hook, that's not posable, so this is posable. And the faces, I personally like this face a lot more. The Bone White Foxy looks really cool. It looks a lot more accurate. His face shape looks better, and he's actually dirtied and withered. This Foxy, for some reason, doesn't really have much dirt paint on him, so I can't believe I'm saying this, but Jazwares actually wins in the dirt paint category. But the hats, I personally like the pirate hat more. This top hat is pretty neat. It's up to personal preference. I think both the hats look amazing. So these figures are really equal to compare, and the next figures aren't too equal to compare, but they're the closest I could find. Basically, I was looking for Fnaf AR skins that are an existing character just recolored with a lot of unnecessary detail, and that's what I came up with Arctic Ballora and Magician Mangle. First of all, Magician Mangle is absolutely incredible. Her body is even better than the normal Mangle figure. They actually gave her the back leg. Not only that, she has so much extra detail. They painted and covered her in amazing, dirty, rusty paint that you can see everywhere. All of her joints are even, okay, well, the head falls off really easy. That is one of the downsides, but she is fully customizable with a full head, and the jaw actually stays open. She is still a jump scare animatronic. Look, you can make her jump scare, but if you want, you can also leave the mouth in a open position, which I think is a incredible detail. I like this personally. I like this even more than the normal Mangle figure that they made. That I don't even like Magician Mangle. That looks amazing. Same for Arctic Ballora. I think this is even better than the Ballora figure because of the amount of detail they've given her. It's all translucent. She has a ton of ice spikes all over her body. They even gave her a base like they gave Magician Mangle her saw, so they both have their details. I think both of these figures are honestly incredible and some of the best of the Fnaf AR wave, but they're also disappointing because nobody likes Fnaf AR. That game sucks. You can't even download it anymore. It is a dead game. Can companies please stop making Fnaf AR figures? Funko made a whole ton, and now Jazwares is making a whole ton. Jazwares, how about you make Phantom Mangle? Or someone else, I don't know, anything but Magician Mangle. That's a lame character. I love the figure. It is a great looking figure. I'm not saying it's a bad figure. It's just a bad character. There's a lot better choices, personally, that I think could have been made. Instead of already making Fnaf AR characters only 3 waves in, Funko didn't start making Fnaf AR characters till like 8 waves in. I don't even know. So that is very disappointing, but now we have to look at all the weird spin-offs and everything else that Funko and Jazwares have made. Now for one-off and spin-off FNAF figures, we are going to be taking a look at both of the racer lines, which is honestly a very strange decision. I'm not sure why either company would want to make these because, well, they both aren't great and they both go on a clearance a lot. So, first of all, just first thoughts. I'm not really a fan of either of these. These have been sitting in Five Below clearance bins for years, so I'm not sure why Jazwares would want to take that idea and use it. Also, there's a lot more versions of these. There's like 8 racers, while there's only 4 Jazwares racers. I just chose the closest characters. And also, they both retail for the same price. They're both $5, so they're both pretty equal, but I definitely do have some things to say. So first of all, comparing the Freddies, I'm not a fan of either of these designs, to be honest. I'm just not a fan of these figures. I know these appeal to probably a younger demographic of FNAF collectors. That just personally isn't me. But if I had to compare them, I definitely like the Funko ones more, if I can be honest. They're in really creative cars, and the figure designs look really, really cute. They're these cute chibi designs. Freddy's running around in a little microphone. I think it's adorable. These Freddy designs are, quite frankly, they are hideous. The head is very squished in. His forehead is the thing that sticks out the furthest of him. His eyes are giant. His ears and top hat just don't look very good. He's not a cute looking figure. His snout is super small too. It's just, well, he's just not very cute looking. And the car isn't very creative. It's just like a pizza truck, which I guess is kind of creative. I'd say it's the most creative out of all the cars, but the cars are also a little ugly, giving them eyes and like a mean looking mouth. I don't think that really works. And also material wise, they're both $5, but the material of this feels a lot higher quality. It's metal material, and it feels a lot better. This is just simple hollow plastic. When you knock it around, it sounds kind of cheap, has a cheap sound and feel. This has a nice, much more expensive, much more quality feel and build. So honestly, I have to give the first round of Funko, they did it a lot better. Now let's look at Bonnie. Funko didn't even make Bonnie, so that is a point to Jazwares. So I just chose my personal favorite figure, which is the Lolbit figure, to prove the creativity of these card designs could have gone a lot farther. Lolbit is literally riding in a broken static TV with wires going everywhere and the Lolbit logo behind her. Bonnie is in a convertible. When has Bonnie ever ridden in a convertible? And his guitar's on the back, but it's not even painted. They would rather paint the little nubs on it than paint it black. I mean, these are both $5 figures. Look at the paint. They painted the wires all different colors. They painted her seat and even her tail back there. These are both $5 figures. These are made from nice, hard metal, and this is made from cheap, flimsy plastic. They just aren't good. And second of all, Lolbit is adorable. She's so cute. Bonnie's ugly. Bonnie has practically no mouth. His eyes have, like, no emotion. His ears are super tiny. And again, that forehead. Oh, man, that is a giant, bulbous, Jimmy Neutron, peanut-sized forehead. Just isn't good. Funko wins that one again. Now looking at Chica's. They both made Chica, except this is Toy Chica. This is normal Chica. Really similar. This is the ugliest car I've ever seen. This is like an Angry Birds-looking car with giant eyebrows. It just doesn't look great. The beak isn't even a separate color on this car. They give it giant teeth in the beak. Chica, I would say, is the cutest one. She has a cute little expression from the front. Turn it to the side. Oh, no, that forehead. That forehead, they keep making the forehead giant. She's in some sort of go-kart looking thing, but again, it's really not great. Toy Chica is adorable. She's so cute looking, and she's in a piece of cake. Because Toy Chica has cake. I'd so not in that way. I meant she carries a cupcake, okay? I did not mean it like that. Oh my gosh. Her car is absolutely adorable. I think this is a way, way better looking card, even as the candles. They painted every single sprinkle on here. They couldn't even paint the beak on this one. And again, it's a nice, like, metal material. This is cheap, flimsy plastic. And last one is Foxy. Foxy, of course he's in a pirate ship. That's a no-brainer. Say they put Foxy in some weird shaped car. They gave him a license plate that says Foxy. It's just like what is this thing? They made it the angry car. It looks like from that Bendy mobile game. That's what this car looks like. Him being in the little pirate ship, he looks adorable. They didn't even paint Foxy's snout all the way. They just left it red. Again, that forehead, yikes. Foxy's never had a bigger forehead. This is adorable. I mean, obviously, the Funko ones win. They're the same price, except they're cuter designs, they're higher quality, and they're made from better materials. These feel cheap, they feel plasticky, and the designs are ugly. And also, well, how about the racing aspects? Let's see who wins the race. I'm going to push them equally. Well, the Jazwares, if you want to race these, the Jazwares do win because they're lighter materials, so I guess that does make sense why they move faster, because the Funko ones are metal. So it does, yes, the Jazwares do win a race if you're racing them, but quality and design-wise and just looks-wise, the Funko ones look a lot better. Now let's look at the strange mystery minis they've made. So now we have the mystery mini battle. Both companies made two different versions of the mystery minis, kind of being scary versions and cute versions. So let's take a look at both of these. First of all, if you guys are a real Puggo fan, you guys know how I feel about these figures. These are the worst things Jazwares has ever made. I do not like them at all, and it's clear other people don't like them, because every time I go to Target, every FNAF Jazwares figure sold out, but these guys, they're just sitting there on the shelf because they're so ugly. Now, these guys aren't technically mystery minis, they're not mystery, but they're the closest thing to Funko. Now, looking at the Funko ones, the Funko mystery minis know how to be mean and scary, but look cute and stylized at the same time. The stylization of these is horrible. They have these weird lines around their eyes, making them look really strange. Their mouths are massive with the teeth that don't look very good. The eyes feel way too far apart. The forehead is giant, and their body is absolutely minuscule. The body is tiny and fat at the same time. I'm not sure how you even achieve that. The Funko ones have a lot cuter faces, a lot more accurate colors, a lot better body designs, and their heads even swivel. Unlike these ones, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, their heads don't even swivel. So, I mean, it's pretty, like, easy to tell. The Funko eyes are still angry while looking cute at the same time, unlike these. These just look gross with the little lines. The eyebrows look a lot better. He doesn't have a big forehead. The stylization on this character is actually well made, unlike that Freddy. Now, taking a look at both of the Bonnies. Bonnie's even worse. You can make a cute Bonnie, but still make him look good. That's what they did with this one. They gave him big ears, which looks really good. This Bonnie's ears are tiny and gross. They both have big foreheads, but the big forehead looks good on this Bonnie because, well, Bonnie kind of has a big forehead. This Bonnie feels like they moved his eyes way too down and far apart. He doesn't look good at all. They also made his snout super white, which just isn't accurate. They both have their guitars, but one of them is just holding it, not doing anything with it, and one of them is actually holding it like he plays it, which looks a lot better. So obviously, this Bonnie is better, even though this one's more accurate with black eyelids. Doesn't matter. This Bonnie looks, well, honestly, a lot better. Ugh, now for the most ugly one. Chica. This Chica figure, I don't know who designed this, but boy, they need to redesign this. Her mouth, she has an underbite. How do you give a chicken an underbite? That doesn't make sense. Her teeth are poking upwards, which doesn't look good. Again, she has those weird, like, eye things that makes her look stressed out or old or something. Her like, beak is giant and underbitey. This Chica, they gave her an open mouth, which looks a lot better. Her eyes are still angry with black eyelids, but it actually looks good and accurate. This Chica, they didn't even make her accurate. They gave her feathers and tufts, which she doesn't have, but it still looks good. This Chica, they gave her inaccurate stuff like eye strain and a underbite jaw, but this one looks bad. The feathers on the top of her head are really tiny, and yes, this one does come with a Mr. Cupcake, but it's so small, it doesn't even really matter. And her, oh man, her body, just the stylization of the bodies looks really, really bad. Now checking out the very last one, Foxy. These are just like, yeah, I guess this one's more accurate because his legs are silver and this one's legs are just red, but doesn't mean it looks good. This one is actually less accurate because he doesn't have any withering on him. This one has withering all over him. And again, you can make them angry. Like this Foxy looks angry too, but you can make it well. You can make it stylized. This Foxy is the only one with a painted eyelid. This one also has a painted eyelid. And honestly, the snout on this looks like a dog snout. They made it square and wide with a thing down the middle. Foxy snout does not look like that. The Foxy snout is long and pointed and has sharp teeth. Just doesn't look very good at all. So obviously, the Funko ones win this easily. But now let's look at the better series, being the cuter looking figures. Now, these Jazwares figures are very cute. This is how you do a better stylized figure. Do I like them the most? Meh. But do I think they're way, way better than whatever these are? Yes. And these are actually mystery minis. These come in blind boxes, so I will say I'm definitely a fan of these. So, comparing these to the cuter versions of the Fnaf figures, even though they're not the easiest to compare because both of the other ones were angry. These ones are kind of cute, even though these ones go for a cute look and these ones go for a more accurate look. It's really up to what you prefer. These cute ones have big heads and cute sitting bodies. I really like this, but the color's completely wrong and the top hat is very small for some reason. This Freddy looks a lot more accurate with full animatronic parts, but he's not as cute. He doesn't display as well. I think this Freddy displays on a shelf a lot better in the sitting pose than this Freddy does. You kind of need all the collection to make these look good together. So that's not as good. Same for this Bonnie. They both have their different colors. This one's blue and this one's purple. This one looks a lot better for, well, you know, kind of being in a collection. This one looks a lot better if you just buy them one off to sit and display. So there's no clear winner between those. The Chicas, I both really like. I think Chica's one of the cutest ones. They made her look like a little baby bird. So I'm going to have to be honest. I prefer this Chica, even though this one does have a Mr. Cupcake. This Chica looks like a little baby bird. I think it's absolutely adorable. But for the Foxies, the Funko Foxy wins because, again, with the snout, they gave it that slit down the middle, which isn't accurate at all. Foxy's snout is pointed and sharp like this one is. So this one definitely looks better. He's even holding his out of order sign. This one doesn't have any withering on his torso as well. So these figures, I would recommend buying these mystery minis. They're really cute, but there's only 4 in the set. I wish there was a lot more. Like in the set of these ones, there's like 12 different figures. So what do you think wins? Jazwares or Funko? Let's do one final comparison and show off everything. So guys, that's it for this video. I really hope you guys did enjoy see Funko versus Jazwares. Now, if you want my personal opinion, as much as I do love Funko, they have some great figures. I think overall Jazwares wins. Funko's first wave of 4 figures was really their only good ones. The FNAF 1 wave, the FNAF 4 wave, Sister Location, and Pizzeria Simulator. After that, they fell off pretty hard, and now we're stuck with things like Liberty Chica. Jazwares is really good, but a lot of their figures can be just straight up ugly, or not even accurate and unpainted, just like the Withered figures. So they definitely both have their pros and cons. I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. Who is really better, Funko or Jazwares, and what do you guys prefer? I met a whole bunch of you guys at this amazing fan meetup at Slasher Pizza, and I said I would put you guys in the video, so I asked you guys in person, what do you think is better, Funko or Jazwares, and this is what you had to say. Alright guys, I'm here with a bunch of really cool people who I met at the event, so they wanted to be in the video, so we're putting them in the video. Okay, awesome. Okay, alright, so I have a question. What do you like more, Funko or Jazwares? Jazwares! Jazwares! Yeah! Okay. So it looks like it is definitive that most people do prefer Jazwares. And now I'm sure you guys wanted like an actual war, like me making the action figures fight each other. So, okay, yeah, sure, let's make them fight. Alright, Jazwares, go attack Funko. Alright, great. Alright, who wins the war? I have no idea. That's for you to decide. Good. Bye!